been a great night so far, and I'm really honored to introduce H-Melt. I think H-Melt is certainly in the tradition of great queer poets this country has seen. Walt Whitman, Audre Lorde, Frank O'Hara, Allen Ginsberg. I think H-Melt follows in this tradition. I think H-Melt is also in a prophetic Jewish tradition. When we just got done with the Seder at the Passover dinner, you know, one of the things that they say a lot that I take with me always is that each generation reveals new freedoms. And that part of the work of being a Jew in this world is to repair the world. They say tikkun olam, to make the world that has been fractured whole again. And so, even for me personally, H-Melt's desire to unify the world in some ways, and to erase the borders and boundaries that exist between all things, really, you know, between the south and the north sides of the city, between racial groups in the city, between gender identities. I think this is part of the new freedom. And I'm going to just read what I wrote on the back of H-Melt's book. And again, it's an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to get to work with so many incredible voices in the city. This is our 8th project, I think, maybe our 9th project, I don't know. Because I'm not great at math. This is what I did right on the back of H-Melt.
I'm sure about that.
Maybe I didn't. There is something wrong with the status quo, something abhorrent in normative culture. It allows us to remain silent about drone missiles and police brutality and the murder of transgender people. It allows our beloved Chicago to segregate and erect prisons for the poor and working and queer. What is normal is what urgently needs serious and radical inquiry and profound reconsideration. H-Melt's Survival in the Second City, Transqueer Chicago Poems, is a guide and lightning rod, a contestation of every border imaginable and a celebration of the necessary and ingenious spaces created by the public presence of courageous trans and queer peoples engaged in the construction of new cultures and identities for us all. Tonight, y'all, please welcome H-Melt.
No one wants a picture of Prentice. No one wants to feature her on the big screen. On an album cover, her older sister, Marina City, steals the spotlight. Marina never gave birth. I was born in Prentice's womb, just east of the non-magnificent mile. Goldberg designed a floor plan with women in mind, stationed nurses closer to expectant mothers. Northwestern University will wrecking ball modernism into a memory. Chicago does not want another glass box in the sky. We like our art tough and ugly, like our politicians. Just ask Picasso in Daley Plaza. Prentice refuses to crack or crumble, its core stiff as the stem of a flower. My petals are falling, stiffening for good, regrowing delicate as cement. Thank you all for being here. Shout out to Essie Lindsay, Joe Briscoe, Emmanuel Vinson, and Susie Swanton for performing before me. Those are some of the people who inspire me, both here at Young Chicago Authors and in the queer community. And I wanted to kind of give them space at my events and help them make me feel super comfortable and warm inside. So thank you for doing that. Jaws. Spring break blood. Across the border, sunburnt tourists dip in baby blue piss. Chlorine bleaches pubic hair I have yet to grow. In my shared hotel room, I notice a stain in the crotch of my suit. A shark bite, jaws open wide. Mom, it happened. What happened? I don't know what to do. While I wait for the doctor to stitch my lips together, I stay out the water. So I wrote these poems, as the title suggests, to really help me survive and to help keep myself alive. Writing is one of the main ways that I do that. And my form of survival as a trans and queer person looks very different from other people's form of survival because I'm white. I come from a middle-class background. I live on the north side of the city in Edgewater. I grew up in Evanston, and I'm fairly privileged. But even with all those privileges, it's still hard to live. So this next poem, I like to practice what Kevin Colwell calls an engaged poetics. And to me, what that means is writing about people who are a part of your daily lives, about places that you go to, and actually sharing that work with those places or with those people. Sometimes that's a good idea. Sometimes that's less of a good idea. Like when I got banned from the Art Institute and the Palmer House for sending this poem. Let it burn. After Carl Sandburg's and they obey. A fire truck idles on Monroe, between Wabash and State, outside the Palmer House. Let it burn. Well, first warn the workers, door openers, luggage lifters, taxi wranglers, drink pourers, dishwashers, sheet changers. Then let it burn. Melt all gold everything. Elevator buttons, door handles, staircase railings, crown molding, armrests, trash cans. Break out of town necks craned for a photographic memory of topless women in the lobby's mosaic mural. Evict the Empire Room. Smash every chandelier. Let there be light. Let it burn to the ground again. This time, do not rebuild. I actually think the Palmer House doesn't know its own history because when it was built, 13 days after it was built, it was burnt down in the Chicago fire, and it was rebuilt. And that poem is partially about that history. Theater 2 at the Music Box. Inedible grapes hang limply from the ceiling. Plastic ivy hugs wooden beams, teasing mini marble columns. Dungeon burnt lighting brightens my mood. It costs $9.25 to briefly live in a creaking seat, refusing to recline. Outside, strollers and dogs dominate Southport. Inside, I imagine lingering hands, stiff strangers unbuckling bell-bottoms, mustache men laughing, crying, together in the dark. there's also these pictures of me on various ID cards throughout my life. And there's one from the 90s when I was in elementary school. And I'm in suspenders. So if you don't buy the book, at least buy it for that. Why I prefer Dyke March over the Pride Parade. There is no entry fee. No police barricades to hold us back. No beads thrown to strangle our necks. No politicians to weakly shake our hands. No Tribune photographers to snap a headline. No stumbling straights to block our view. Helium-filled floats deflate after they are blown up. This year, the Pride Parade strained its root. Dyke March stomps a circular path to create visibility, to honor our histories and identities, to disrupt oppression and dominance, to challenge silence and fear. Nothing on display but our bodies, holding hand-made signs of survival. Horns honk, neighbors wave and smile. I have no choice but to smile back. So the section I'm reading from in the book right now is the last section, which is the longest section, and it's called Rebirth. The book is split into 3 sections: birth, death, and rebirth. And the rebirth section is the longest because I think it's the most important. It's really the section of the book that documents people and places and events going on right now in Chicago's queer and trans artistic communities. Designated nights, Bearden. Zach is in town one night only. We need a place to drink and discuss our desires. I drag him to Big Chicks, a neighborhood joint just off Argyle. Diane Arbus hangs out there, flirting with Maplethorpe, flirting with Dawood Bay, flirting with President Obama, flirting with everybody. Arriving early, we take a seat, await bears behind the bar to hear our eyes growl. Perfectly manicured beards scrape our bare faces. Bare heads reflect pulsating light. A bulging bicep wraps itself around Zach's young neck. I am going to fuck you tonight. Nobody will look at me. My scent is too strong. I cannot relieve myself on the fence out back like the other men. We call it quits after 5 rounds. Still feeling out of place on this thirsty Thursday, I apologize to my guests. It's usually not like this, a drunken lie. We usually only come on our designated nights. Throughout the book is kind of tensions within the queer, trans, or LGBTQ, ABC communities. And I think that poem kind of exemplifies those tensions. And to bring it to a lighter note, I'm going to read about one of my favorite nights in the city, curated by one of my favorite people. This is Lexica at Solotaire. Last Monday of the month at Beauty Bar. It's sparkling gold glitter on our bodies and the walls. It's a $10 manicure and martini. Free drinks from 8 to 9. It's Joe welcoming new, familiar friends on stage. It's Badger KK's mustache, Wes's blue lipstick and beard. It's gender-neutral bathrooms allowing all access to multiple stalls. It's Justin in the DJ booth, blowing the air horn effect. It's an entirely pink room, unafraid to dance the night away. It's the mirror behind the bar. We finally see ourselves. It's the dark clink of glasses, applause and affirmation, a community clapping, dancing, screaming for its own survival. So people, I guess, sometimes describe me as thrifty. It's true. This poem is about that, but not about that. My father's closet. In search of new clothes, I open my father's closet. Ugly sweaters abound. Old suits, too big for me, reek dust. 100 ties scream my name. I unfold t-shirts. To my surprise, Keith Haring appears. 3 colorful figures. Speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. I cut up the cotton, eliminate white space, safety pin the print to my jean jacket. My father forever watching my back. Fabulous DJ, XP. AKA Jesus Plaza. Jesus is not only a DJ, but also a dancer and a hairstylist. He did my hair in the back cover photo of the book, also in my bio photo, also my hair tonight. He did that last night at 1 a.m. in the morning while doing 2 other people's hair. It was amazing. Ode to Jesus. You were the first to dye my hair. A saint, painting brown, blank canvas. You called it virgin. Bleach didn't sting. Mixed bright pink to brush on the back of my head. A triangle upside down. I walked away scared I'd be bashed from behind. No one even said a word. How to make your mother cry. Don't cry. In Ode to the Chicago Diner. Invite her to eat out the suburbs. Cruise down Halsted. North Side. Privilege. Phallic pylons penetrate our eyes. Park. Open menu. Meat free since '83. Fellatio finger paintings, less overpriced than the food. Her glass frames fog. I spy straight sewage slip from cheek, chin drip, classic. Breakfast, plate untouched. A lost appetite for her young. How to help your transgender teen. A book on my father's bookshelf. Do not scream, boys don't cry, in the living room. Swank is Academy Award. Brandon is dead. Cece imprisoned. Pete started tea today. Davin built the wagon. Quinn flew to Baltimore. Jacob survived a fire. Mar is drunk on stage. Mark's exhibit is open. Rebecca's play is a hit. Auntie Kate is on tour. Red is cracking jokes. Lark dyed her hair red. Grayson is leaving home. Reese is Dr. Kelly. Now I am too. So it's really nice to see new faces, both at YCA and folks I've never met before. But some of the folks in this audience have heard these poems performed a few times. But this upcoming Wednesday, April 17th, at Upstairs Gallery, I'm going to be performing new poems about the trans HRC incident and other recent controversies at Making Out with Wes Perry and Friends, which is a free event. It's in Andersonville. You can look it up. It's at 8 o'clock, Upstairs Gallery. Why you don't ask? Why you salt and pepper my morning bagel? Why you charge me $5 more for a cut and dry blowjob? Why you dress male, miss legality? Why you assign woman to pat down suspicions we both enjoy? Why you, hey girl, repeat sorry under your breath? Why you centuries-old style guidelines advertising my birth certificate? Why you grammatic li incorrect? Why you don't read about me disappearing morning newspaper? Why you ladies and gents, me future tense? Why you don't ask? So another reason that is not so selfish why you should buy the book is because half of the proceeds tonight are going to Project Fierce Chicago. Chicago is a new grassroots community organization trying to address queer youth homelessness in the city. They're currently raising money. They have an Indiegogo page. Also, Cassie from Project Fierce Chicago is in the house. You can talk to her if you want more information. They're currently raising money to put a down payment on a house on the south or west side to be a kind of hub for queer homeless youth to get educated, have a roof over their head, take a shower, network, and have a safe place to live. Woo! Woo! So this is the ending piece in the book, and it's called Queer Festo, after Hakeem Madaboudi's Black Writing. And it's kind of my dreams for the future of queer art in Chicago and really all across the country and world. Attention, queer writers. It is the year 2013 and we are still queer, meaning we are still different. Most people still do not get us, which is fine. But people are still killing us too, putting us in jail, slapping us around without consent, giving us dirty looks on the street, calling us by the wrong names. Gay conversion camps still exist. We are post-gay lib, but liberation never fully came. Most of us aren't even gay anyway. Or we are, but don't call it that. We're lots of other things too. Homosexual is a word that uncomfortable straight people use. That our parents use. We are living in a constant state of evolving language and creating new terms, new hybrid words daily. That language will live or die our writing. Our histories will live or die there too, and it should be recorded in our own words. There are lots of us writing. We must write about ourselves, about our daily lives, about our outfits and emotions and emotional outfits, about our walk to school or work, school and work, about our families of origin and our chosen ones, about our friends who left us and the new ones we picked up along the way, about our relationships, sexual or not, sexual and not. We must read each other, promote each other, write about each other, perform with each other, and sustain each other. But we must not remain isolated within a room full of mirrors. If we want to free ourselves and others, we must speak to as broad an audience as possible, in a room with people who do not look like us, who are not where we're from, who do not cruise the same streets, who may not already accept us, or who do but may never say it out loud until we speak with them and they compliment our nail polish or suspenders or both. We must not fall into caricatures our audiences and we ourselves already know, but challenge them to really see us, really listen to us as individuals and as a community. We must listen to ourselves and each other. We must challenge ourselves to seek out our truest truths, especially the ones that are not fashionable. We must trust our own truths, even if we do not see our realities reflected elsewhere. Because we do not see our realities, our visions, our faces, our dreams, our nightmares represented in mainstream and even alternative forms of media. This is why we write, to be understood, to be misunderstood, to be questioned, to be answered, to be. No one will do it for us. We must do it ourselves. We must do it together. So tell your peeps who may not be here tonight or here in Chicago that they can find it online. Acknowledgements. I am honored to acknowledge Kevin Coble for making people across the segregated city listen to each other, for the poetic anger and inspiration, for blowing up the canon, for your commitment to Chicago literature, for elevating voices typically unheard, for helping me save my own life over and over again. A glittery queer kiss on the cheek to Joe Varisco, for organizing and documenting queer art in Chicago, for publishing Chicago IRL, for curating Lexica at Solotaire, for reading an early version of this book, for your amazing accessories and endless energy. Thanks to my friends and lovers, my queer chosen family. You know who you are. To my Young Chicago Authors family for helping me find and develop my voice while listening to the voices of others. To queer, trans, art, writing, performing communities in Chicago. We are building a new world in which I want to live. And thanks to J-Mac for staining my life with fake blood. I love you. some more music for you all, hang out, get a drink, get a cookie, wear a pin.